Hey everybody, this is Tony, Tainted Lord A7, and here's a fun little video that I thought would be entertaining to watch, and that's 10 albums that I picked for Halloween. With Halloween coming up soon, I thought this would be a great video to show off, just pick out 10 albums that I would play for Halloween and let me know what everybody think in the comment section down below, and let's go ahead and get started. The first 3 CDs are actually movie soundtracks, and the first one is the Crow soundtrack. This is like the quintessential perfect movie soundtrack. This in my opinion is how you do a movie soundtrack correctly. Like, all the bands and artists that's chosen for this perfectly captures the mood and atmosphere of the movie, The Crow. And I thought this would be a really good first pick for Halloween. So yeah, first one is The Crow soundtrack. The perfect quintessential 90s movie soundtrack. So that's The Crow soundtrack. Next one is Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight soundtrack. Yeah, another really good movie soundtrack for a movie that's actually really good. If you've seen Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, this is a really good entertaining movie. And this soundtrack is definitely a good one for it. Featuring bands like Pantera, Ministry, Machine Head, Megadeth, Melvins, Sepultura, Biohazard. Just a lot of great bands for this soundtrack. So yeah, my second pick is the Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight soundtrack. A really good one, and my second pick. Next one is the Bram Stoker's Dracula soundtrack. This one is this was the 1982 version directed by Francis Ford Coppola and stars Winona Ryder, Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins, and Keanu Reeves. And yeah, this soundtrack actually features the background music from the movie, and I really do think this is a really good soundtrack. It really balances being beautiful and serene, and at the same time it can be frightening and foreboding. And yeah, this is a really good movie soundtrack, and the music that's used in the movie it's just perfect in my opinion. So yeah, that's my third pick, the Bram Stoker's Dracula movie soundtrack. A really good soundtrack for the Halloween season. Okay, now we're going to move on to the actual music albums, starting with Cannibal Corpse, Red Before Black. Now, I could have chosen any kind of Cannibal Corpse album for the Halloween season, but I chose Red Before Black because I feel like this one is a really underrated album from Cannibal Corpse, and this is just a heavy, aggressive, crushingly heavy banger of an album. You know what you get with Cannibal Corpse? They play some straight up death metal, and this album is strangely pretty underrated. But yeah, that's my fourth pick, Cannibal Corpse, Red Before Black. A really killer underrated album, but also a good one for Halloween, in my opinion. So yeah, Cannibal Corpse, Red Before Black. Next one up is a metalcore band, and that's Ice Nine Kills, The Silver Scream. Yeah, they're kind of like a metalcore band that really pays homage to like some slasher films, horror films, from the 80s. And yeah, this is just a really fun, heavy metalcore album that really pays homage to the 80s slasher horror um genre. Yeah, slasher horror genre. Just a really fun album and a really good one for Halloween. So yeah, Ice Nine Kills, The Silver Scream. Okay, next one up is Iced Earth Horror Show. Now I know Iced Earth is pretty much ridiculed nowadays because of what John Scaffold's been doing lately, but the early stuff is really damn good, and I think Iced Earth's Horror Show is a great heavy metal, power metal album that pays homage to those Hollywood famous movie monsters like Dracula, the werewolf, the mummy, and so on and so forth. And I think Ice Earth Horror Show is perfect for the Halloween season. Like I said, this album pays homage to the famous Hollywood movie monsters, and this is just an awesome heavy metal, power metal album. A really good album for Halloween this year, so Ice Earth Horror Show. Next one up is Exhumed Horror. With a title like that, you kind of know what to expect. Exhumed are like a death metal, death grind, gore grind band. Well, not really gore grind, maybe in the earlier albums, but this one is just some straight up death metal grindcore that is very influenced by 80s horror films. Well, 80s horror slasher films. If the title of the album doesn't clue you in. And yeah, this is just a really fun extreme metal album that's perfect for the Halloween season. Like I said, this album pays homage to 80s horror slasher films, and if you want some awesome death metal grindcore done really well, definitely check out Exhumed's Horror, a perfect album for the Halloween season. Okay, the next one up is Cradle of Filth, Midian. I chose this album because this album is very influenced by Victorian Gothic horror, at least in my eyes. And musically, it does fit the whole the whole Halloween feel to it. You know, it sounds it sounds like a Gothic horror soundtrack done really well. Even though this is mostly like an extreme Gothic metal album, I really do feel like it pays homage to that Victorian Gothic horror, at least to my ears. And I think this is a great album to play during Halloween. So that's Cradle of Filth, Midian. Yeah, just a great album to spin for Halloween. Okay, next one up is Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe. Yeah, everybody should know who Rob Zombie is. To me, he's a heavy metal, hard rock, singer, and his music is just, really heavy and definitely influenced by horror films. Well, definitely influenced by any era of of any horror film, like whether it be the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I think Rob Zombie pays homage to any kind of horror film during any era. And Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe is just a perfect album for Halloween. as you know, Rob Zombie's a big horror fan, and this album pays homage to any kind of horror film that came out in the past um 2010 whatever years, in my opinion. So yeah, Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe is just a fun walking album and a perfect soundtrack for Halloween. And the last album that I would choose for Halloween this year will be White Zombie's Astro Creep 2000. Just like Rob Zombie's solo work, White Zombie's Astro Creep 2000 is just a walking album that pays homage to horror films from the past and features a lot of movie samples as well. Just a really great walking album for the Halloween season. So White Zombie's Astro Creep 2000, a great album for the Halloween season. And that's it. Those are 10 albums that I would pick for Halloween this year. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And let me know if you have any albums that you would pick for Halloween this year. So thanks for watching, and see you next time whenever that happens.